Sometimes, the most memorable parts of a journey come from the unexpected twists and turns along the way. And today's hike was a perfect example of that. On day 238 of the Eastern Continental Trail, ECT, I covered nearly 28 miles, exploring a mix of coastal paths and roadways that challenged my expectations and gave me a fresh perspective on this incredible adventure. But here's where it gets controversial. I chose to skip some of the official inland trail sections in favour of road walking along the St. Lawrence River. Was it the right call? Let's dive in and you can decide. Today's trek began early, with the master trailsman and me waking up at 6 a.m. to enjoy breakfast on the cosy deck of our cabin. Meanwhile, Super Strider was still trying to catch a few more winks. There's something special about starting the day surrounded by nature's quiet beauty. It sets the tone for everything that follows. Instead of following the International Appalachian Trail (IAT) inland as usual, I opted to stay on the road for a while. I rejoined the trail near Lac Francis and walked a short stretch before it led me out to Highway 132. The trail here was a bit overgrown, with thick, damp vegetation, creating a green tunnel that felt a little claustrophobic and frustrating. Just as I was about to hit the road, I ran into another hiker named Shufflin, who's from Halifax, Nova Scotia. He was also hiking the Quebec section of the IAT, and we ended up walking and chatting together all the way into the town of Grand Valley. Grand Valley had a charming little market where I hoped to grab a coffee or soda to recharge. But after rifling through my pack several times, I realized I'd left my wallet back at the motel or in the car with the support crew. So no treats for me this time, just more miles to cover. Next on the agenda was what Far Out calls the Beach Trail, a roughly 3-mile stretch that isn't a traditional trail at all, but rather a path following the shoreline wherever it looked best. This was a highlight of the day. The terrain shifted constantly, from jagged, angled bedrock to loose stones, and then to smooth, rounded cobbles. I took my time, stopping often to examine the details up close or to gaze out along the shore. Sorry for that, guys. That was going on. These were some of my favourite miles on the entire ECT so far. By 12:30 p.m, I reached the end of this beach section, perfectly timed for a midday meet-up with the team. Luckily, there was a spacious deck with picnic tables where we could all gather for lunch. Super Strider Cheryl even spotted me as I approached and snapped a photo. It was a joyful break. Mom and Dad had brought a fresh loaf of bread that hit the spot. And the snacks and sodas were a welcome treat. Shufflin caught up with us again and joined for a while before we set off together. After about 2 miles of walking along the roadside, the IAT veered back into the forest. But by then, I'd been mulling over a plan all day, and at this junction, I put it into action. I decided to continue sticking to the road instead of heading back into the woods. Why? A few reasons. First, I love having the St. Lawrence River in sight. It's a constant, calming presence. Second, from what I could tell on the map and from other hikers' comments, the inland sections I'd be skipping didn't offer any mountain views, just more forest tunnels, similar to what I'd already experienced that morning. Don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with forest trails, but after so many miles of that, the coastal scenery felt like a refreshing change. And here's the part most people miss. I'm feeling pretty tired. Not completely drained, but definitely running low on energy. To keep up with my schedule, I need to tackle some longer, more demanding days ahead. So mixing in some easier road walking miles seemed like a smart way to conserve energy without losing progress. The road wasn't all dull either. Along the way, I spotted a 50cc Honda Ruckus scooter, same model and colour as one I used to own, named Remus. It topped out at a modest 35 miles per hour, but I loved it. Someday, I dream of scooter packing across the country, linking the 3 major long-distance trails near their northern ends. Walking this stretch in Quebec, I'm seriously considering starting that journey right here. That wrapped up my hiking for the day. Once again, the support crew picked me up and drove me to a new motel. There's something so comforting about ending each day with a hot shower, a good meal, and time spent with friends and family. A personal reflection. Nature has been a cornerstone of my life since childhood. I grew up playing in forests and fields, splashing through frog-filled ponds and slipping on muddy stream banks. My backyard was a gateway to the wild, and my family's love for the outdoors was passed down through generations. I'm deeply grateful for this upbringing, but I also recognize how fortunate I was. Not everyone has the chance to experience the outdoors early in life. For some, nature doesn't feel safe or accessible. And for those eager to explore, the cost of gear and equipment can be a significant barrier. There are systemic obstacles that prevent many people from enjoying the natural world as I have. The outdoors should be for everyone. That's why I'm proud to support the Outdoors Empowered Network, OEN, https://outdoorsempowered.org, an organization dedicated to increasing access to nature for all. My goal is to raise $2 for every mile I hike or paddle on this journey. So far, thanks to your generosity, we've raised $7,076, a truly incredible milestone. As I near the end of this trek, I'm aiming for a final total of $9,393, and I believe we can get there together. I'm making a final push and inviting anyone who wants to help ensure all kids can experience the outdoors to contribute. Every donation counts, no matter the size. The Tip Author button links directly to my fundraising page. Your support means the world. Thank you. What I admire most about OEN is how it connects people, especially youth, to nature through gear libraries, outdoor skills training, and a strong focus on inclusion. It's a nationwide network, but it operates in a deeply local, community-driven way. This resonates with me personally. In fact, OEN helped launch the gear library in my hometown of Grand Rapids, Michigan. GR Outside, as it's called, is now part of the OEN network. I visited their gear library just before starting this ECT journey and was blown away by the incredible work they're doing, providing equipment and partnering with other groups to create organized outdoor experiences for youth. It's inspiring, and that's why I hope you'll join me in supporting their mission. Affiliate disclosure. This website contains affiliate links, which means the Trek may earn a small commission if you purchase products or services through links in the articles or ads. This doesn't affect the price you pay, but it helps support the Trek's mission to provide quality backpacking advice and information. Thanks so much for your support. To learn more, please visit the About This site page, https://thetrek.co/about-this blog.